Hi everyone, it's Jeff Hopper with Jeff Cranford. We have been talking about threads, and we haven't really gotten to the threads that we're talking about. You hinted in a direction last time, and that was morality, that the Bible has some moral structures that we should probably be living by. And yet I'm a little concerned sometimes about that word morality, because I know when people look at church people or God people, they're like, oh, they're pushing their morals on us.
Right.
And it tends to put people off a little bit. Does that concern you?
Well, it does. I mean, you see our culture, and it's we have these moral dilemmas. It seems like everybody's talking about them. On one side, maybe a more progressively liberal position might be, hey, we have our own morals. As long as it doesn't hurt someone else, we're engaging in this. And another one says, no, that fundamental behavior is wrong. So I would kind of throw it back to you, and what would your take be on that? How would you define those terms, and what would that look like for you?
Well, it's funny because morality or morals, it's almost like a container for a lot of different things. No, I've never heard anybody say, well, you're pushing your integrity on me.
Right.
You're pushing your honesty on me.
Right.
They're happy to have us deal with them in that way. And so it's somehow it's just kind of a cultural check, morality, they're pushing that on me.
Right.
Whereas if we said, okay, well, how would you do things right?
How would you do it right? Which would be the definition of righteousness in your mind?
There you go. I mean, that's right. Biblical righteousness is doing things right according to the way God would have us do them.
Right.
And those include a number of things. And one of the things that has struck me is the passage in Matthew where Jesus is bringing woes upon the Pharisees.
Yeah, Matthew 23.
Matthew 23. And he talks to them in one regard about, you're really good at some things, but you've missed the big stuff. And so he says, look, you tithe right down to your spices. You go into your spice cabinet and you tithe out the 10%, and yet you've forgotten the greater aspects of the law.
Which is kind of what we were talking about last time. What are the greatest aspects of the law?
Right.
And Jesus had summarized that as being to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself.
Right. And in this case, he specifically identifies among these greater aspects of the law, mercy, justice, faithfulness. So what I'm thinking we need to be talking about when we're talking about the old into the new, Jeff, are there aspects of righteousness that existed in the law, in the 613 commandments? Are there things that existed there that are presented as equally important in the New Testament?
Right.
Things that we should still be doing because they are threads that run through the whole of Scripture.
Well, there certainly are, and let's explore that next time.
Okay, that's great.